The first sound of London in the 17th century does not come from above, but from the ground. Before the sun rises, the city is already moving because people are moving. Footsteps echo through narrow streets, over wooden planks and uneven stone. There are no hidden engines, no invisible force pushing the day forward. Every movement requires muscles, breath, and time. Porters bend their bodies under heavy goods. Apprentices cross bridges carrying urgent messages. Merchants push carts that creak with every meter. The city wakes slowly, but never in silence. London breathes at a human rhythm, and that rhythm defines everything. The way people work, negotiate, meet one another, and survive. Movement is not just part of the urban landscape, it is the very foundation of the city. Without human legs, arms, and backs, London simply stops. The city grows within these physical limits, shaping an intimate relationship between body and space. Every street carries the wear of those who cross it daily. Every corner holds the memory of repeated effort. London lives because its inhabitants walk, and this simple truth sustains one of the largest cities in the world long before any machine exists. Everything changes when the world is seen at eye level. Walking through London in 1600 means seeing the city from uncomfortably close. Facades nearly touch above the head, forming shaded corridors that compress the view. Sight never reaches far ahead. Curves, alleys, and buildings interrupt any attempt to anticipate what comes next. A horse can appear without warning. A vendor cuts across the path. A door opens directly onto the street. The pedestrian must stay alert at all times. The city allows no distraction. Every step is a silent negotiation with space and with other bodies occupying it. This constant proximity creates a different way of perceiving the world. London is not observed from a distance. It is lived in fragments. Knowledge of the city does not come from maps, but from the daily repetition of routes. The body learns where the ground sinks, where the path narrows, where the flow intensifies. The pedestrian's lens turns the city into something intimate, almost personal, where every detail matters because it is always just inches away. The street is not an empty space between buildings. It is the heart of the city. Everything happens there, all at once. Workshops operate with doors wide open. Stalls spill into the path. Children move among hurried adults. There is no clear separation between working, moving, and living together. The street is market, corridor, meeting point, and public stage. Information spreads by word of mouth, prices are negotiated out loud, conflicts begin and end in full view. Whoever controls a busy stretch controls attention and opportunity. A little remembered detail is that many houses lacked sufficient interior space, pushing much of domestic life outside. Cooking, repairing, talking, even arguing became part of the urban scene. The street functions as a living system where everything flows without rigid central organization. It is chaotic, yet efficient within its own rules. London sustains itself through this constant mixing of functions, where public and private blur with every step. Moving every day requires careful choices. Short distances are not comfort, they are survival. Walking consumes energy, and energy is a precious resource. For this reason, the city organizes itself into small circuits. Living close to work, the market, and the church is not coincidence. It is practical necessity. Urban routine repeats with little variation. The same streets, the same faces, the same obstacles. This daily movement creates invisible bonds. People recognize one another, even without knowing names. The daily path becomes predictable, almost automatic, yet never indifferent. A shortcut can save valuable minutes. A delay can compromise the entire day. Time is felt in the body, not measured by precise clocks. London becomes a map engraved in the physical memory of those who traverse it. Each step reinforces this deep relationship between space and habit, turning the city into an extension of the body itself. Even without engines, London is not isolated from the world. Global connection begins with the river. The Thames functions as a liquid road, crowded with vessels arriving and departing, loaded with goods and stories. Products from distant places enter the city through human arms. Barrels, crates and bundles are unloaded by hand and carried on foot to inland markets. One surprising detail is that many of these goods changed hands several times before reaching their final destination, creating a human chain of transport. International trade exists, but its rhythm is slow and physical. The city feels the literal weight of what it consumes. Every foreign object carries not only economic value, but the accumulated effort of dozens of people. London participates in a larger world, even without machines, connected by water, human strength and patience. There is something no one warns you about London in the 17th century. It is loud, dense, and impossible to ignore. The moment one enters the streets, the senses are completely overtaken. Sound never rests. Hammers strike, wheels creak, voices overlap in announcements, arguments and laughter. Animals cross the way, horses neigh, dogs fight over scraps. Smell is a constant mixture of food, smoke, leather, waste and sweaty bodies. There is no separation between what is pleasant and what is uncomfortable. Everything shares the same air. For those who live there, this excess is not shock, it is normality. The body learns to filter, to choose what deserves attention. Curiously, visitors of the time often reported more discomfort with the sudden silence of outlying areas than with the chaos of the center. The city teaches an essential skill: surviving excess without losing focus. London shapes people who walk, work and think amid constant stimulation, turning sensory chaos into the background of everyday life. The movement that sustains the city gradually begins to turn into a problem. The more London grows, the more its physical limits appear. Narrow streets become congested, carts block passage, animals panic, accidents become common. A simple delay in one part of the city can trigger a chain of disruptions elsewhere. What was once just human flow begins to demand rules. Merchants complain about lost time, authorities worry about order, residents feel the daily pressure of constant crowding. A silent tension emerges between necessity and discomfort. The city wants to grow, but the human body imposes an invisible ceiling. It is not a sudden crisis, but a gradual accumulation of friction. London begins to realize that the same system that made it prosper also limits its expansion. Movement stops being only vital and becomes something that must be managed. Even amid hurry and confusion, the city is forced to stop. The human body cannot sustain continuous motion. People sit on steps, lean against walls, talk without haste. These pauses are not planned but inevitable. They create spaces for unexpected exchange. News circulates in these moments. Stories are told. Informal agreements are made. The human pause functions as a silent gear in the city. Without it, the rhythm would simply collapse. Unlike modern cities, where pauses are seen as delays, here they are part of normal operation. Time does not flow evenly. It slows when the body demands it. London breathes in these intervals, and it is within them that many social bonds are formed. Momentary rest becomes connection, and the city is built even when it seems not to be moving. Buildings reveal who the city was designed for. Doors open directly onto the street, windows sit low, facades invite the gaze of those passing on foot. There is no concern for distant views or grand visual axes. Everything is meant to be perceived up close. Architecture speaks to the pedestrian, not to speed. Steps are low, entrances frequent, spaces compact. Every building assumes someone walking, stopping, observing. A curious detail is that many shops had no shop windows as we know them today. Goods were displayed almost within arm's reach. The city is tactile. Physical contact with space is constant. London is drawn to human scale, reinforcing a direct relationship between those who build and those who move through it. The urban environment impresses not by grandeur, but by proximity. Over time, a quiet desire for greater speed grows. Merchants want to deliver more, authorities want better control, the city wants to expand beyond its own physical limits. Ideas emerge about widening streets, reorganizing flows, imposing stricter schedules. Technical solutions capable of turning this desire into reality do not yet exist, but the pressure is clear. The human rhythm begins to be seen as insufficient. London enters a moment of mental transition. The body is still the engine, but the city is already imagining something different. This desire for speed is not born from abstract ambition, but from daily fatigue. It is the constant experience of human congestion that plants the seed of a new way of thinking about urban space. To deal with growing tension, London begins to impose visible limits. Control emerges as a response to excess. Authorities attempt to organize schedules, define where certain trades may operate, establish rules for circulation and behavior. Guards patrol busy areas not only to contain crime, but to keep movement minimally functional. Order does not arise from a modern urban plan, but from repeated attempts to reduce daily friction. The city learns to regulate moving bodies. Each rule reflects a practical need, but also reinforces hierarchies. Who may stop, who must move on, who occupies more space. Control seeps into everyday life almost imperceptibly. It is not a sudden change, but a continuous adjustment that shapes habits and expectations. London tries to keep its heart beating without letting chaos destroy it. The street remains alive, but now observed, measured, and gradually disciplined. Despite attempts at control, the street remains the great social stage. It is where the city expresses itself. News spreads quickly among vendors, apprentices, and customers. Rumors travel faster than any official announcement. Public arguments draw small, curious crowds. Musicians improvise, preachers speak, people watch. Social life unfolds in full view, unfiltered. A little-known detail is that many important announcements were made aloud in strategic locations, relying on the constant presence of pedestrians. The street functions as a medium of collective communication. Whoever wants to be heard must occupy this space. London recognizes and builds itself through these visible encounters. The street is not just passage, it is participation. Everyone who moves through it also observes, reacts, and influences the city's social atmosphere. Power quickly understands this dynamic. Religion and politics use the street as an instrument of authority. Processions cross entire neighborhoods. Sermons are delivered outdoors. Public punishments serve as collective warnings. Power must be seen to be respected. The physical presence of religious and political symbols reinforces values and hierarchies before the population. Faith is not confined to temples, it spills into the streets. Politics does not hide in distant buildings either. It manifests in everyday life, visible and concrete. Each public event shapes how people perceive order, duty, and belonging. London learns to associate movement with authority. Whoever controls the street controls the city's narrative. Urban space becomes a silent instrument of power. As time advances, this model begins to lose ground. New ideas, new technologies, and new needs pressure the city to change. Absolute dependence on the human body comes to be seen as a limitation. Population growth makes the old rhythm unsustainable. Streets designed for pedestrians begin to be adapted for other forms of movement. The city slowly moves away from the human scale that defined it for centuries. The disappearance of this model does not happen overnight. It dissolves gradually as London reinvents itself. What once felt natural becomes obsolete. The city trades proximity for reach, human rhythm for mechanical efficiency. Looking at London in the 17th century is like facing a distant mirror. The city moved at the speed of the body, respecting physical limits that today feel strange. Every step carried weight. Every journey required presence. By accelerating the world, we gained reach, but lost intimacy. Streets stopped being extensions of the body and became corridors for rapid passage. The past reminds us that the way we move shapes the way we live, relate, and perceive time. Perhaps by revisiting this older rhythm, we can question not only what has changed, but what we left behind when we chose to move faster than our own legs could follow. If this journey into the past sparked new questions or memories of the cities you know today. Subscribe to continue exploring these stories and leave a comment sharing which detail about this pre-motor London surprised you most.